Hi everyone, and welcome back to our next webinar here at the Blockchain Professionals community page. I'm your host Alek Talipov, and this event is brought to you by the community of blockchain enthusiasts, of blockchain engineers who are interested in the early adoption of this technology. And you may wonder why we are touching this kind of topic about public speaking, since it's not very related deeply with blockchain technology itself, but still we have some connections built about this subject, since we are now preparing for the upcoming Blockchain Community Day conference. We decided to work more with our speakers, with our lineup of this year. We have more than 30 people presenting next week. Please register if you still haven't. And one of our esteemed guests there, Madi Shakhrur, is going to help us with preparing all the speakers for the conference, and he actually will have his own stage and presentation during the conference itself on Friday. Please register for the conference. And today we are going to talk about the public speaking questions. So please, Madi, thank you so much for joining, for accepting our invitation to conduct this kind of webinar, this kind of workshop for our audience, for our speakers. I hope this will be useful not only for the speakers, but still every engineer has to try to go to conferences to do some kind of public speaking and stuff. And I think, maybe without further ado, I will pass the mic to you and ask you for a couple of welcoming words.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you for introducing me. It's actually, I feel myself really excited of being speaking in front of you on this topic and this motion. I am one of the managing partners of the Be Smart Communication Studio. So actually, the main thing that we do is to provide either corporate education or consulting products, and mostly those consulting products are connected with helping the speakers and the experts of the company to deliver the speeches on the technical conferences, on some inner events of the company. Those could be meetups, whatever. So we have the great experience, and I just like to share some of that with you today, and of course to answer some of your questions and to make it a little bit interactive. So if you will have some, please ask them, and we will have the space in today's workshop just to speak a little bit about what actually is important for you. So firstly, I will show you some presentation that will speak about some major points, and then I want us to discuss the major questions that maybe you have, so to make this event as useful for you as it can be. So thank you once more time for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you, Madi, for giving the context. And before I bring your presentation to the stage, I'd like to ask all of our today's audience to leave your questions in the live chat, and we will come back to your questions by the end of our today's webinar. And just a second, let me bring the presentation. I hope now we can see a black screen.
Yeah. That's totally okay, because that's the first slide. Just okay. Not to interrupt. So yeah, can we start?
Yeah, sure. The stage is yours.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. So firstly, I would like to say a few words about me, just to warm up, a little bit on this workshop. So welcome. Here is my dog, and we have this dog with my wife for like 6 months, and now I'm living in Belgrade, Serbia. So he's a Serbian one, and we love him very much. And the only thing here is that his name is Rafa, which is somehow connected with the Rafa Nadal. Yes, but here in Belgrade, maybe it was not the best decision, because when people ask me what's the name of your dog, and I'm saying to them Rafa, so they usually, of course, thinking about Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic. So there is only one great tennis player in the country. That is why sometimes they just laugh. I also am a huge Liverpool football club fan. So if some of you maybe are the same, so you can understand all of the feelings of that season of English Premier League in this year, because it was the last season of this great man Jurgen Klopp in the team, and he became the coach of the Liverpool Football Club, like the same time that I became the coach of the public speakers in my own company. So he left, but I did not yet. And of course, I like to speak in public a lot, and that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Not only to train other people, but to speak for myself. That is why each opportunity to speak in front of the real audience is an exciting possibility for me. And I have some experience here, not only from my own sites, but of course as a consultant too. And through like those 7-8 years, last years, I helped to prepare more than 1,000 of different speeches. And I can say that those like working with those speeches lead me to maybe 8-10 like general tips, which I'm usually give to the speakers, but actually we can, like shorten them to just one main insight for today. And this main insight is connected, with the feeling and with the with your own feeling about the public speech. So mostly the speakers, they're in the position, yes, I can do that actually. I mean, if you ask, I can speak on the conference, I can speak on the meetup, I can speak whatever, because you asked nicely. I don't know, the DevRel, the PR, the HR, your own boss, whatever. So somebody can ask us nicely to deliver the speech on the conference. And so yeah, we can do that. Sometimes we understand deeply the need for the company, and we understand why this speech is necessary for the benefits of the company, but actually we have no our inner motivation in that. We just understand that, yeah, it's okay, so we can do that. And sometimes when we are pretty experienced speakers, so, we understand that each new speech on the new event will be the routine. It will be the same for us like the previous time. So even if we are slightly interested in our motion topic or in public speaking itself, we can find ourselves in this situation when actually it's not so cool. And one of the main insights actually, that the major thing which can help you to provide the good quality public speech is the idea of transferring ourselves from the position I can do that to the position I really want to do that. And today I will speak about some techniques which can help us with that. So one of the main points here is that the clear understanding of the setup of your goals and having like the honest and the clear answer, why am I doing this at all, is actually very important to and crucial to the success of the public speech. So I have seen that like multiple times when you're as a speaker, firstly, even if you have motivation, so firstly, you're committed, you're excited, and you want to do that. And you think for yourself, like, yes, I will do it like fast in a quick way. I will draft the presentation, the speech, and then I will deliver it to the production really, really quick. But then, the real life actually harms everything, because we have some other work tasks. Nobody cancels them while we're preparing for our speech, and etc. We have a lot of different barriers in our own head, in the environment of the company, whatever. So it actually transfers us to the position of, it's not so fun, and do I really need that? Maybe it was not such a good idea, and next time I will not do that 100%. So even the motivated speaker, they becoming less motivated in this process of preparation of the public speech. So in a lot of cases, it's like good for you, but we need to redo something in your presentation. And when I work with the speakers, I actually understand that this is crucial to have like the special space, the special time box to think well and ask yourself some kind of right questions about your future public speech. So firstly, we'll speak today about the things which are the very basic in terms that you should do them as early as possible to have the good quality perception of your own speech. And I guess that the best approach, and speaking about the techniques, the first technique is just to somehow understand that your speech is a product, that your audience are actually users of that product. And that is why we're speaking about the UX of the public speech today, because actually if you understand that your speech is a product, so you need this product to fulfill the same criteria, yes, as other digital products. And of course, the main task of the product, the main goal of the product is to deliver the value to the listener. And sometimes, in a lot of cases, speakers have some problems with that. So you need to understand three things, firstly, and this is kind of optics I offer you to think about that. So speech is the product, audience are users, and the main goal is to deliver the value. That's nice. And that actually means that the people, the listeners in the offline or online mode, they always asking themselves only one simple question: what does this mean for me? And what is the value of this product, of the speech? So the first idea here is to, listen to your own feelings about how other people speak, because you always, as a speaker, have experience of being in two positions: as a position of listener to other speakers, and as the position of speaking in front of other people yourself. And this kind of attitude of trying to find what do you like in public speeches, what types of the speaker do you like, this is like the good investigation point for your own. So if you do not do that job, the audience, they can feel really frustrated or angry or even sleepy because they cannot understand the value which is critical, speaking about the public speeches. So let's think about it a little bit. So this is how the common person in the audience can looks like, in terms that they just sit in, just like and they want you to surprise them a little bit. They want you to give the real value to them. So what is about that value? Firstly, from the customer perspective, from the user perspective, we can say that all of the people, they are looking for three things in each speech. Firstly, it should be exciting. So it should be somehow fun, and I should feel myself as connected to the speaker, connected to the motion. I should have some energy in that, and I can feel that my user experience is, comfortable and good for me. Secondly, of course, it should be useful, because if I cannot understand how to use the information I was connected with, so of course this product will be underestimated by the audience. And the third one is maybe the first one from the other side, because your speech should be really clearly understood. So if you have some useful tips, if you have some exciting manner in terms of the delivery of the speech, but nobody can understand what exactly you want to say, so this of course will harm your product, and this of course will push your audience out of your product, out of your ideas, out of yourself and your company and all of your goals you actually want to achieve through that public speech. So we need to dive a little bit deeper in that and to think about this in that way. So we have like two different types of value, which we need to, like here on the picture, just to implement, to install, if you want, in the head, in the mind of the listener. So firstly, we're speaking about the key value, and secondly, we're speaking about additional value. So how it actually works. Speaking about the key value, the main thing here is to understand clearly the meanings, the key meanings, the key messages you want to deliver. And those meanings, they should be valuable themselves. So you understand why you use those one particular, because you feel and you believe that they will be estimated like valuable on the audience side. But it's actually not enough just to understand what you want to say in terms of the meaning, because the next step is to fulfill the cohesion, and all of those meanings, they should be connected, and that is what we call the structure actually. So you need the structure to somehow organize the different messages and the meanings of your speech. And of course, you should provide the good navigation. So the visualization part, the delivery part, and the they should help you to help the audience to understand clearly where are they located in terms of the speech, what should be next, so it should be comfortable for them. So it's all about meanings, of course, because they should be organized, and you should offer a good navigation inside those meanings. So an additional value is usually about visualization, your presentation part firstly, and the delivery, how you speak. This is all about the voice, the hands, the body language, all that stuff that can either, as you can see here, enhance your key value. So if you have the good visualization or delivery, this is an additional value because yes, it is a little bit valuable itself, but we need that to enhance those meanings, to enhance the key value in our product. But if we do that not in a good way, so if our visualization or delivery harms our own meanings, so of course this somehow ruins the whole product itself. So we understand that we have like two different types of value, and we need to install both of them in the head of our listener. So how can we do that? And we can understand for ourselves that the main task of ours is to design the experience, the user experience or the listener experience in such a way that they can clearly feel the value. So now we're moving to this value question, and we will dive a little bit deeper into that, because to deliver some kind of or some type of this value to the audience, you should understand clearly for yourself what is that value type are you choosing. So firstly, when we speak in this product metaphor, you can understand that all of the speeches you can make on the technical and not technical conferences, on those like public events, they can be one of three. Firstly, they could be the mass market products in terms of you speaking about some kind of task or tool or process or situation which is really well spread, which is like a high frequency problem. So you understand that with that speech, like 80% of the audience, they will understand what you're saying. They will understand why is it valuable. So actually, yes, they can find an easy question to the answer, an easy answer to the question, what does it actually mean to me? Another strategy is to choose the niche products, which can be understood really deeply only by a small part of the audience. But for example, you try to explain how things work in the very particular situation in a manner that the people, the listeners who find themselves in like the same context, they believe that now they have this value, like the pill or painkiller kind of value, because you dive really deep into one certain aspect of the problem or of the of the tool. And the third type of those products are innovative products. Innovative products are the products where the main goal is to disrupt this user experience. The main idea is to make it somehow different from what other speakers on the same conference do, from what you did before, from what you had listened to in your own experience. And so the innovative products, they usually suits best to the people who are experienced speakers. But still, so if you feel yourself a little bit like a routine speaker, this is the good product type for you. But this is, of course, not enough. So what I wanted to do next is to help us to determine some types of those value. So some time ago, we, with our team, we have like 13 people in the team, and half of them are experts and coaches, which helps companies and speakers to present better. So once in a year or two, we usually analyze a bulk of real speeches from the real technical, usually IT conferences. And we're working with the organizers. So sometimes they give us the data which shows what comments did the speaker had on their own speeches, and also how they were estimated. So what is like the score for the speech, and we're trying to analyze that and to look for some patterns or anti-patterns, so for some things which are the similar for all of the good or bad speeches. And 2 years ago we understood that actually 80% of the speakers and the speeches which were estimated highly as really efficient, as really effective, as really wow, they usually represent one of 5 value types. So let's look at them. So the first of them is the wise man. The wise man is an archetype of a speaker who helps to change the attitude or approach to the problem, and this person usually speaks about its own experience. So, like the cases are maybe the most common things to speak of on the conferences, because a lot of people, they speak how they did something as a team, as a person, as a company itself, and they usually try to dive deep, and they usually try to explain how exactly they did what. So when you're speaking from the wise man position, your main like value proposition is to help other people to change an attitude and approach, to avoid some mistakes you did, to somehow gain the same path easier, more comfortable. So for you have some of the examples of those motions or topics on the slide. For example, what I would like to know about MLOps a year ago. So this is like the time machine. You as a speaker, you as an expert, you understand that if you had some more understanding, knowledge, data with yourself a year ago, you would cover the same path again, faster, easier, more comfortable, whatever. And this is why you want to help other people who want to go on the same path, how to do that. So the second one, which is actually, they are close to one each other, but this is what we call the master speaker role. So the master speaker role is practically the same in terms that usually they speak of their own experience, of what they did, of how they did that. But the main point here and the main idea of this master role is to help your audience, to help your users of your product to solve the very specific problem. So when we're speaking about the wise man, we can say that the conclusions, like the main value is about advices. If we speak about the master, this is not advices, this is more like a checklist, an algorithm. So you should do that. So I believe that actually those two are the most common on the technical conferences, and you can see again some kind of topics that can be delivered from the master speaker role. So how to build something, how to build a data streaming problem platform in Kafka, how to write fast tests in Apache Ignite, how to tame an Android emulator, whatever. And the third one, which is like the practical role too, this is the reviewer or the blogger role, which is about helping your audience to choose the best option between different options, or to estimate one option from different sides. It's from pros and cons, benefits and harms, like whatever. So usually it's like PlayStation or Xbox. This is about that you have like 2 or 3 different options and you want to compare them and you want to help an audience to compare to that. For example, we're speaking about different approaches in terms of the growing secure development policies, or we're speaking about the architecture dilemmas, which can be like evergreen motion about the monolith or microservices in terms of the architecture, or we can speak about one option, which is BPMN, and just to try to understand if it's necessary or not in some particular conditions and the context of the audience. So here, this is the practical one too, but the main thing here is to compare something. So in the first type, you just want to say what to do to make your path better. In the master, you're trying to focus on what exactly to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the reviewer, you always, not always, but more often speaking about how to choose the best option, and you compare different things to do that. So we can say that the conclusion part of the reviewer is not the checklist, is not the list of the devices, it's more commonly the table form, which helps us in one slide to understand the pros and the cons of the different options and solutions. And there is one more, which is called professor. And this is a tricky role. So you can feel how it works through the names of the motions, which can be like introduction to functional programming, something about the Kotlin, blockchain, Bitcoin, MLOps, or whatever. And the idea is, in a lot of situations, I work with the speakers, and when I ask them, so what is your goal? What you want to achieve? And when I ask them, why do you want to speak about that at all? They usually say, I just want to tell them how it works. And if you feel the same about your own motion, then maybe you're in the trap. So you can also look at this Midjourney image. All of them are from Midjourney, but this one actually helps us to understand how it works, because you can see that the audience, they are not looking for the professor, they are looking, I don't know, in the window. So he has no attention, and this is the problem, because it's a trap. And what is that trap? That trap is that you need to ask yourself, why should they listen to that? Why this experience of yours, or not experience, because you are focusing not on the experience, but on the knowledge itself. So why is that can be valuable for the audience? And actually the main answers are, if it is hardcore, I mean, nobody can explain it in a good way. And this is why you're like good, cool university professor, which can explain something better, which can explain something in a good manner, which can explain something in the way that somebody will finally understand how it works. So they did not, and now they understand. So if your motion is about something really hardcore, yes, you can be the professor, because you understand that nobody understands. And it's not so easy to find an alternative, a substitute for your speech. So if you will Google it for 5 seconds, you will not have the list of the cool articles or videos which explains it in a good manner. So in that situation, yes, you can be the professor. And another one is if this is about updates, this is about something really hot and new, and you will be like, one of the first speakers who will present these new updates of a tool, of, I don't know, the some new ideas of how to build the process. I mean, those can be tools, concepts, tasks, whatever. And the last, so if you think for yourself that you're a professor, then ask yourselves, do I speak about the hardcore? Do I speak about updates? If not, maybe it's a trap. And try to ask yourself one more question. Why should they listen of that? And maybe in most cases, you will understand that they should listen for that, either because they need to fix the same problem in their own workplace, and that is why you will be the master. Either they want to just understand how to work with that, how to think about that, how to communicate about that, and then you can be the wise man. Or you can understand that actually the main value for them as the audience is really just to pick one of 2 or 3 options. So you will either migrate to other speaker roles, or you will stay in that. And the last one is the director, which actually just helps people to have a good time during your presentation. And you can use a lot of different things like storytelling and some metaphors and some other things which can help you to provide these like fun and exciting emotion of your own speech. So speaking about those speeches, they're usually not always connected around, or they're not like constructed around the main idea. They're usually more like just to have this disrupted experience for your audience. And what is actually really important too is to understand that you can combine those different roles. So you can be this is not obligatory to choose only one. And of course, you will mix them somehow during your own speech. But you need to ask yourself, so what do I believe is the most beneficial for my audience, for my customers, for my listeners? Should they better to listen about how to solve a particular problem? Should they listen about should they listen about some advices in general? Should they listen about how to make a decision in terms of different options or something else? So I believe that those are like the main things, and this is the first big point of today's workshop. This is about an idea of understanding really clear why is that important for you and why is that important for your audience. And I believe that this is like the first and the best way to start your own speech. Okay, so once you do that, you need to go to the next step. And this next step, after understanding clearly the main insight and the main idea, is to structure your own minutes, as we said previously. This is about the core value of the product. And if you ask me, I would say that the structuring of the speech is the main thing in preparation process. I mean, this is where you invest most of your effort, most of your fresh mind, most of your time, if you want to do a good speech. So there are like two different approaches of how you can do that, and we will speak a little bit about both of them. I will draw something on the slides and show you how it works just right with you, so you can understand those. We will speak about two. The first one, which is hierarchical structure, which can be known by some of you as the Minto structure, which is the pyramid Minto concept, which came to the market from the huge transnational consulting companies like Deloitte, KPMG, McKinsey, whatever. This one is from McKinsey, but we actually adapted it a little bit for the public speeches. But I can say that this framework, it works either with texts or the speeches. So it's even, I don't know, like, you know, you have a lot of space to fulfill this concept, this principle into your own speeches. Let's look at that. And firstly, we'll speak about this hierarchical structure, and then a little bit about what is called like the scenario structure, the structure.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think we don't see your screen. Could you please reshare it?
Yeah. We'll. This is.
Okay, you're not sure.
We'll reshare it now. Yeah, but because this is some other things about the online speeches. It's not always good to just watch the same thing happening.
Okay.
I'm usually try to do it in a different ways. So firstly, I showed you some slides. Now we spoke about the structure, and now let's see how it can work. Okay, so what is this hierarchical structure, and how actually we create them? Firstly, we need to understand the main idea, which is again the answers to the question, what could I say if I would have like 30 seconds, 40 seconds of the speech, not those whole 20, 30, 40, or even more minutes. So the first thing you should think about this main idea. When you got this main idea, it can be also not only the main idea, but the main question, because sometimes you have nothing to say, like as you know, the main advice or the main insight, or you maybe even just really want to explain how it works in your context. So you have this main idea in the question, and then you decompose it. So you try to create several ideas from this one. And the main principle, the first principle is here that you should create not more than 4. This is about this kind of Miller wallet you maybe know about, which actually says that the people are very limited in terms of how many information they can actually understand. And you know, when it was like created in 70s, they said that you have like 5 plus minus 2. But nowadays, we have so much pressure and information around us that we can surely say that it should be not more than 4. So you can use that in every aspect of your presentation. Not more than 4 ideas, not more like than 4 logical parts of your speech, not more than 4 main objects on the slide, whatever. So you have the main idea, and then you need to decompose this main idea to some kind to the first level of this hierarchical speech structure. And you always will have something like, you know, the main question that you ask. So for example, let's do that. And for example, we will understand that, I don't know, let's have something corporate. Okay, we'll speak about our process, what we did in the team, and maybe we'll speak about that communication is the key. In terms of the project management, the product management, I don't know, the team lead, for the team leads, we will say, yeah, the communication is the key. This is the main insight of our speech. So again, what would I say if I will have only 10 seconds of my speech? I would say that the communication is the key. Okay, nice. So now I need to decompose it. How? Firstly, I need to think about the main, the navigating question. Maybe the question is why? So the main idea of that speech will be to explain why is that so important to think and to work with your communication. And of course, I will say about, and I will speak about, you know, some cases, some examples from my own company, but I will do that trying to explain why the communication is the key. And maybe there are some different questions. So firstly, because that helps actually to reduce time. Second, reduce time. Secondly, we can say that the communication is the key because it helps to establish like better ideas. Yeah, because when we communicate more, we just have an opportunity to move to the best conclusions. And something that will be another benefit. So as you can see, if our question is why, so usually we speak about the benefits. And those benefits should be like verbal, and they should be clear. And then we ask ourselves again an additional question. Okay, so we say that the communication is the key because it helps to do 3 things. But how actually does that work? So how exactly this will help us to reduce time? How exactly this will help us to deliver better ideas? How exactly it will help us to have some other benefits we want to achieve? And here we try to think, okay, if we will speak about reducing the time, maybe we will speak about 2 stories. The story 1 or case 1, which can be about, I don't know, So maybe project. Maybe we can do it like that. Yeah, project. It can be like project 1 and project 2. And in the first project, we didn't communicate well. In the second project, we did. So we can compare, right? And this will be our structure. I mean, this can be a part of the speech for 10-15 minutes, just speaking about this project. Or it can be 3 minutes if you like. But we can understand that this is still, a consistent structure. Speaking about the better ideas, the main question is, again, how? How communication will help us to bring better ideas? And maybe we will speak about some particular ways to communicate to bring new ideas. So maybe we have some, I don't know, we have some Miro framework, which is really good, and we use that to communicate about how to do that or not to do that. And that is why we lead to the better ideas. Or, for example, we can say that, so how this will help? How exactly will the better ideas come? Firstly, from the tool. Secondly, from the approach. And we will speak about some many things we need to take into consideration for that. And, for example, some kind of other benefits. If you want to speak about anything, you can use this structure. If I want to speak about the company I'm working in, I will say, okay, the main idea is that we work with the communication, and this is our main activities. So I can do in really different ways. I can structure that speech. I can structure it like in terms of the products. So firstly, we try to but we like deliver corporate education programs to the company. Secondly, we consult the speakers before the major speeches. Or I can do that in terms of the benefits, what we help to do. Yes, we help experts to deliver value to the audience. For example, yes, this is about the consulting product, and we help teams to communicate better. And if I want to speak about that, I can go deeper and deeper if I like. Okay, so experts to deliver value, how we can do that, how we help that. We help that, for example, with the educational products and with these consulting projects. Okay, and so I need to dive deeper to explain how exactly it works. And maybe here I'm saying, okay, we help team to communicate, and we do that. I don't know, either in different forms, online or offline, or we can speak about the tools we're speaking here. So maybe this is about the feedback. It's certainly about the feedback, and it's about the environment. And some other things, of course, but maybe I will focus only on that in this speech. So I guess you can understand pretty clear how it works. Again, the main rules. Each of the ideas can be decomposed not more than to 3, as you can see. These 2, these 2, 3, and you can, of course, go deeper as much as you like. So if you need to explain something, how actually it works, you just have some other question here. For example, how exactly? And you do that. So we need to understand that actually, when you try to use that structure, this is the really simple way to combine all of the ideas you actually want in one speech. And I believe, and I usually do that for all of my own speeches, this is the best starting structure in terms that you actually can try to organize your own thoughts in your own head with the help of this hierarchical structure. And then after that, you can use another one in your speech. But that will help you to understand what is really the main idea, how all the other ideas are connected strictly to this main idea. And this will help to fulfill all the criteria we said in the first place, like speaking about the core value. So firstly, you understand this core meaning. Secondly, you understand how they connected. They are like visually connected with the structure. And in the third place, you can understand how to navigate people through this structure, because you just finish with one part of this structure and you move to another one and then to the third one, and you should make some conclusions at the part of each of those parts of the at the end of each of the logical parts of the speech. So this is the second thing I wanted to speak with you, I wanted to tell you today. This is about the structure. And actually, when two of those done, when we can say that, okay, we have the clear understanding of our own speaker role, and we have, so therefore we have an understanding of what we're going to speak about and why will it be valuable for the audience, then we can think about the structure, and only then we can speak about visualization. So the main hint here is, like in a perfect world, you should never start making your presentation before you understand clearly the whole content of your own speech. So firstly, you need to think about the main thesis, you need to think about the main points, the main ideas, then you need to organize them, and only after that you can think about the presentation. I will not speak a lot about how to, and I will not speak at all about how to do that exactly in terms of the design, but I will share with you one last tool for today, which will be the perfect tool for two contexts. Firstly, this is the good opportunity to make the technical task for the designer if you're not doing this, the presentation, if you're not making the presentation yourself, or either it will be the main synchronization point, which will help you to understand clearly how to fulfill with the visualization all of the meanings that you did just understood for yourself when you were making the structure. And what I want to show you now is a little bit how can it work. So this is what we call this is from the video production, and this is the very nice idea of understanding how to visualize. And not only that, so firstly, in the first column, what you are speaking and what you are thinking of is the content. The second part of this table is about the key messages. The key message. And the last, but not the least, is about visualization, of course. So, what you need to do is to fulfill this table, not more or less. How to do that? Let's have a look, speaking about our own presentation, my own workshop this day. So we had like three main points here speaking about the content. The first was about the speaker roles. So when I do this document, what should I do? I'm not like so this is not about the text of the speech. Yes, this is about just the main bullet points of the main things you want to say. So speaker roles, I, for example, will speak about these, and etc. What is the key message of this part of speaker roles? Oh, the key message is that you need to think of that as early as possible. You need to think of that as early as possible, just to avoid a lot of misunderstanding making the speech. So make it early, or start your preparation with understanding your speaker role. And visualization, as you could see, are like the separate slates for each of the roles. So, okay, you just got it. Secondly, we've spoken about the structures, and thirdly, we're speaking about how to create a visualization. So the main key message from the second part, from the structure, is that you firstly need to organize the meanings inside your own head to have an opportunity to deliver it to other people. And this is why I was using the mirror just right with you. So you can feel it like the process of the construction of the structure from the scratch with me, not just to stare in on the fixed slide. And the third part, yes, which we're speaking about now, is about how to make the visualization. The key message of that is that this tool, firstly, help you to understand the key messages of each logical part of your speech. But secondly, which is the most important, you try to visualize not the content itself only, but the key messages too. So sometimes these key messages can be visualized in an extra way when they used in a heading, when they just are used like there is just a slide with one, particular insight you want to get, as I had some slides with Stan Marsh in that presentation, which can focus us on just one idea. So I believe for today that those three tools, the tools of the speaker roles, the tool of the hierarchical structure, and this table form, which can help you to be one step closer to the cool visualization, are like MVP tools for your public speech. So if you do all of those three, if you will not start your presentation before you have an understanding of your own structure, if you will not write down the text of what you will say, because people are like speaking and writing in a really different manner, and everyone will understand if you're actually trying either to read from the text or you just remembered this text so well that you just like kind of reading from your own head, is from your own mind. So all of those are not the best ways to do that. And the cool algorithm is, as we already spoke, speaking about the role, speaking about the structure, speaking about visualization. Those three steps should be I guess those three steps should be made in that formation, in that position, and that will help you to achieve the great results. So those were the main ideas I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much for attending this workshop, and I hope that some of them could be really maybe valuable for you. And I will not speak for myself anymore, any longer. If you will have some questions or things to discuss, it will be nice to do that right now. So again, thank you very much for being with me during this hour. That was nice. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Madi. Thank you so much for sharing all that useful methods about being good at public speaking. I have actually a couple of questions regarding the content part, regarding the kind of psychological parts of the public speeches. So you once touched the topic of storytelling. Could you please give us some kind of tips how to learn more about storytelling, how to be good at storytelling, or maybe just a brief overview in a couple of bullet points? How does storytelling look like?
Yeah, the storytelling is the huge, enormous topic, and actually we can have like 2, 3, 4 workshops speaking about that. And I think this is not like an MVP element, because you need to think about the stories when you have the clear understanding of the main things in your presentation. But still, if you want to go through the storytelling, you can just focus on 3 things. Firstly, every story needs a hero. That actually means that you need to understand what is the hero of your story. The hero can be you as a person, you as a team, you as a company itself. And firstly, what you need to do when starting your own speech is to speak about one of 3 major things which can help you to explain the audience about the hero. So the first is about the motives. So what is actually this, the main moving power? What is the main push effect for your, as a team, as a member of a team, or maybe as a specialist, as a C-level person, whatever. So those can be really different. For example, we want to speak about, we want to make the story about how we did something technically in our job.
I think we are experiencing some connection problems. Let me just give me a second to ask if everything is fine with Madi.
I'm back. Sorry, my computer said enough is enough. but
Yeah, you're back now.
I'm back. Yeah. So what I was saying, the first is about the motives. What drives you in? Why you decided to make this project? And there could be different answers. For example, you are the person or the team which is constantly focusing on the improvement. That is why you're going to some conferences. That is why you're, listening to the podcasts, and I know each evening you have some beer with a good podcast or with something which will help you to improve. And you can speak about that a little bit, just to help others to understand that you're the type of the person which is focused on self-improvement, or not maybe on the corporate improvement itself. So another one, the second one, is the barriers, which is the things which are not about the environment, but about yourself, which stops yourself from doing something. So, for example, you're overloaded with work. You have low sleep quality. I don't know. You have children born, and that is why your whole life is now a little bit different. And you should, and you can, and you should speak about that in the very start of your own story. And the third one is about the environment. So what around you helped you, or again blocked you from doing something. So when we're speaking about the story is always about the plot. So something happens with the hero. So firstly, we understand the hero, and in the very part of this story, we should answer at least two of those three: the motives, the barriers, the environment. If you have some details about that, you will be like alive to the audience, you know? When you think of that, you should think about the plot. And this is the only, the simplest advice here is that all of the things, all of the scenarios, all of the plots in the modern culture and in the ancient culture too. All of the movies, all of the books, all of the all of the comics, whatever. So all of those are stories. And all of them fulfill only one major principle. There should be contrast. So if you're making a story, you should understand that, something should go wrong in the story. So this is what is called the drama zone. And you need to speak about that. Because people, their empathy starts to begin only when there is something wrong with the hero. If you will be watching a movie, and in that movie nobody will have no problems, and they'll just fine, and they're doing just fine the whole movie, you will turn it off really quick. So the first is about the hero, the second is about the plot. You should think about what drama zones you will have in your own speech. And the third one is about the details, because yes, you need to fulfill your speech with some small details. When, for example, I said each evening I'm listening to the new hardcore podcast with a beer, this is my tradition. This is kind of that detail. So the details can be something of your inner monologue. So you can say during the story, and this time I was thinking, oh my God, we will never never ever finish the project, and maybe this is the time for me to just go out of the company or the project forever. So you can explain how did you feel through your own thoughts. You can explain how it was felt by explaining some details in the environment. For example, you will say that about communication is the key part, that you just blocked yourself with the whole team for 5 hours in the meeting room, and you just said to everyone, we will not go anywhere until we will make the decision. And then you will speak about a little bit how did you make this decision. And for example, the environmental detail can be about that it was super hot in the meeting room. It was in the middle of the summer, plus 35. So it was really like the boiling room. And it will help other people to feel a little bit more like you felt in these circumstances. So closing this speech, you need to think of three. You need to think of hero, you need to think of plot, you need to think of details. And I guess that's in such a manner: firstly of a hero, secondly of a plot, thirdly of the details that you can sweeten your speech after you understand the main plot.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for bringing the attention to the drama part about it. I've never thought about that deeply, but I will keep that in mind. And we are running out of time, but I would like to ask a final question. When working with a bunch of speakers and preparing them to a conference, I regularly notice that some people are pretty shy and they may be nervous and have some anxiety before going live or coming to the stage. How to work with people who have anxiety and how to bring them out of being nervous?
I believe that after 6 years and 7 years and, like a lot of speeches, I do not have the clear answer, because I have one, but nobody likes it. It's fake it until you make it, just push, because some people need like 30 times, 50 times, 100 times to become calmer. Some speakers need like 2, 3, 4, 5 speeches to become calmer. We had some research with our partners. This was the VR project. And the guys were trying to create a product which will help to decrease the stress level during the public speeches. So we had the two groups, a lot of psychologists, sociologists, and everyone was speaking with... So we tried to examine the, I don't know how to say it properly in English, but it's like the skin reactions, which can certainly tell you about the level of the stress. And what I'm saying about that is we had the huge project, and we understood that like 10, 14 hours of practice will give you from 13 to 16% decrease in the level of anxiety in general, yes, but maybe it will be different with the particular person. And if you do some extra things like with the VR, it can be up to 30% after 10 hours or 15 hours. So we have some data which actually proves that, yes, you just need to do it more and more and more. And I believe, just closing the speech and the workshop with the same idea I was starting it with, that the clear understanding what is the value and clear understanding that, yes, I really not just can do that, but I want to do that, is one of the main things here. Because even if you're frightened, but you want to share, this is the different with the situation when you just frightened. You understand? So I believe that this is the key somehow too. And can I share some links to the audience?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, this is like the last thing. Firstly, the first link should be, I hope you can open it. This is one, or because the public speech and the communication topic is really, really, really huge. So those are some articles in English from our company, from our experts, which you can just have a look, because we speak more about storytelling, about questioning, about different things which can help the team lead in the company, and not just only the team lead, to enhance the corporate communication. So I believe maybe you will enjoy it, and maybe you will find something cool for yourself. And if some of you would like to add me in the LinkedIn, you can also do that. If you will have some questions, you want to ask me something about the communication topics, feel free to contact me via LinkedIn. Again, I hope something of that would be helpful for you in your future speeches.
Okay, yeah, I will include all the links in the description of this video, and I think you have a pretty unique name, so that it's pretty easy to to find you on the internet by googling your name and surname, and hope nobody will face any problems. So yeah, concluding today's webinar, I'd like to say thank you to you, Madi, for sharing such great quality content, and looking forward to see you among our conference speakers next Friday. Thank you to everyone who joined our today's live session, or maybe watching this as a recording on our YouTube channel. Let me know if you will have any feedback or questions or recommendations or any types of comments. We'll share it with Madi directly, and hope to see you again, Madi. Thank you so much once again. Nice talking to you. Have a good day. Bye bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
have a good day, you all too. So it was a pleasure to be with you. Bye
Thanks.
bye.